Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we're going to be unboxing and having a look at the brand new Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra. We'll check it for retro games because I absolutely love those, but we'll test some more modern games as well and just generally have a look at this fantastic brand new tablet. So sit back, relax and let's take a look. Right, so here it is. I bought mine directly from Samsung and it comes in this shipper here, which is very easy to open, and obviously it's not a very thick tablet, so let's see if we can get him out. Cool. It's right in the bottom. Here we go. There we are. Look, you've got to lift up the top to get into it. There we are. So there we are. It's out of its outer packaging now. Yeah, just the one seal there to break, which I always like to razor these rather than just cut them off with my thumbnail or a pair of scissors. Just like to get the little craft knife in there. Like so. There we are, there's one side. Now I can't actually remember the last Samsung tablet I had. It was quite a long time ago now. But historically, I've always thought they were very good. They've always lasted. My wife and my dad have got Samsung tablets. But I did want this big beast, and the S8 last year had fantastic reviews. I mean, it really did, and I thought, you know, when the S9 comes out, I'll probably be about ready to treat myself to one. So you don't get a lot in the box. Got the old S Pen here, which will be for writing, and this one fits on the back, so pop that over there. We get our SIM removal key. Well, I've not got the 5G version. I'm usually on Wi-Fi anyway, so I'm not actually going to need that. And we do get a brand new USB-C charging cable. And then the actual tablet itself comes in this like sleeve, which is quite nice. You really can't believe how thin this looks. So as I film this, I've yet to get myself a case. I didn't really want to spend out a fortune to get the official Samsung cases because I just think they're just too expensive. So I'm waiting to see a few reviews online of people who've ended up getting a third-party case, and we'll have a look and we'll just see what the reviews say. But look at that! What a beauty that is, isn't it? So, well, yes. There we are. So this is going to take a bit of time to set up. So I'm going to go back into the house, get it connected to the Wi-Fi, get a few apps on it, and more importantly, get my my retro games loaded up, ready for a bit of a sesh. So I shall be back in a moment. Okay, so I've got the tablet set up to give as least amount of reflection as possible, but it is quite hard in the studio here. I've got an Xbox controller of my boys. I've got that one paired wirelessly, so we should be able to have a little crack at some of these games and get some pretty good results. So I think straight off the bat, let's try something, well, probably my all-time favourite emulator, which is PPSSPP. So starting off with one of my all-time favourite retro games, and I absolutely loved the PSP. It was just such a great little handheld. Certainly it seemed ahead of its time, and one of my favourite games, which I still play to this day, is Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast. An absolutely fantastic game. So enjoyable. I love this game so much. Back in the day, I contemplated actually buying an arcade cabinet of it. But they are notorious for breaking down, the Outrun ones, because they've got the steering wheel, which have usually been pulled to bits, and they take up quite a bit of room. But what a great game this is. Absolutely fantastic. And the PPSSPP emulator is just superb. This is 10 scaled up on this Samsung tablet, because, you know, with all the emulators that we're going to see today, you can really ramp up all the settings to the absolute max because it's so powerful. Now we're moving on to the Dreamcast, and this was one which was always tricky to emulate on sort of some of the lower end systems, and that's Soul Calibur. Not my favourite, beat 'em up game by any means, but I just thought you might fancy seeing a bit of a fighting game in action. And this, as I said, once again, no slowdown on this one. Now, Redream is the Dreamcast emulator. It is really, really excellent. One of the best emulators out there. And this is the settings straight out of the box. I didn't upscale it or increase the resolution by 4 or 5 times, which you can do on Redream. This is exactly as it comes out of the box, which is, I believe, original resolution. So, yeah, not a bad emulator at all. And the Dreamcast has got a brilliant library. Really, really great. I wanted to show you another one of my Dreamcast favourites, which is a game called Res. And this was a Dreamcast exclusive. And I remember playing a lot of this. A friend of mine had it back in the day when he had a Dreamcast machine. And it's got this banging soundtrack, so you sort of shoot the objects down, the ships down, in time with the beat. It's absolutely excellent. There's nothing quite like it. But yeah, you won't have trouble playing any emulated game really from the Nintendo. Well, the Nintendo Wii backwards is absolutely fine. PlayStation 3 is possible now on here, as is PlayStation Vita. They're not systems I've really delved into too deeply, but more than possible nowadays. This is a bit of very old school. So this is about as old as we're going to get, which is the SNES. And as you would imagine, I mean, you can play SNES games on your phone nowadays, but it just looks so glorious. This is a Super Mario World, of course. This tablet is more than capable of handling a Nintendo Switch now, and the Switch emulation is getting better all the time. As I said, we can now play PlayStation Vita, which is quite something, and PlayStation 3 without too much trouble. Certainly this device will be able to handle it. And thankfully, all of the emulators we're watching at the moment all work seamlessly with like an Xbox Bluetooth controller or a PlayStation controller. Very, very easy to set up. In a way, earlier games, stuff like Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, the Atari Lynx, things like that, they're just no good to play on this because the screen is too big. Even the Nintendo 3DS looked a bit rubbish, to be honest, so I didn't bother including it. But the games play fine, but they're just not of sufficient quality. Here's a bit of N64 with GoldenEye. I mean, you're not going to complain at that. I mean, GoldenEye was absolutely fantastic. A great game. Of course, you might need to reconfigure some of the controls down to the particular system, particularly the Nintendo systems, because their buttons are often a little bit awry. They're unique to the Nintendo systems, unlike the PlayStation and Xbox controls. But this is retro gaming at its finest, with GoldenEye. Really, really great. And something a little bit different, we got the 1080 degrees snowboarding, another great game on the N64 that I used to love, although I was never very good at it. The one I really, really loved to play was on the original Xbox, which was SSX Tricky. I seem to remember that was the best. Really excellent, that one. If you want to see some of these other emulators in action, just on any Android device, particularly phones and mobile phones, then check out my channel. There's lots and lots of retro game content. How to set the systems up, the emulators up, where to find the games, that sort of stuff. So if you're interested in that at all, do check the channel out. Here's a bit of PlayStation 1 emulation, and this was my all-time favourite shmuck or shooter, and this is called G Darius. Absolutely love this game. Addicted back in the day. Pretty much finished it as well, amazingly, because you've got unlimited continues, which does sort of help a bit. But it's a great shooter, and you really can't play this on this sort of size tablet without a Bluetooth controller. It's pretty much impossible. But if you've got a Bluetooth controller, you're golden, and you won't have trouble playing any PlayStation 1 games whatsoever. They will play fantastic. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Very addictive, this shooter. Definitely one which you'll enjoy playing. And now, this is one of the very first sort of fighting games I ever played. Played to the end, that is, and that's Tekken 3, once again on the PlayStation 1. What a great fighting game this was. And you would choose your character, and the aim would be to try and get all the way through to the end. I played this so much. My other favourite was Dead or Alive on the original Xbox. That was also superb. But yeah, this tablet has literally only been out for a day, and it's taken me about a day to get all the emulators in and get all my ROMs moved over to it. It does take a bit of setting up, but boy oh boy, it's really worth it. And I'm really going to spend some time re-enjoying some of these games, because I mean, this tablet is almost the size of a small portable TV now. Here's a bit of PlayStation 2 now. So PlayStation 2 games also play absolutely fine. This is Wipeout Fusion. I do like a good racing game, and the Wipeout series were fantastic. You do get a good sense of the speed with this one. Although I did find this was the only game that I found had a little bit of lag in it, and it wasn't until I'd done the first course, the first circuit, second time round, it was like the course had cached into the short-term memory, and then the game played a bit smoother. But I did have a little bit of lag on this one, and that's probably more down to this game rather than the emulator itself, and it's definitely not down to the hardware, which is just stunning, really. So good old game, Wipeout Fusion. You're not going to go far wrong with that. Now we got another franchise that I really do like. That's the Need for Speed. This one's Hot Pursuit 2. And once again, this was for the PlayStation 2. And, although these play really well, we have to consider they are still 20-year-old games, these. And, it's taken... Well, we've been able to emulate the PlayStation 2 for a couple of years now, and certainly it's getting more polished as time goes by. Great system. Huge library on it, absolutely huge, and I think there's over 1,000 games for the PS2, so a lot of favourites in there. There really is. Now I thought we'd have a little look. This is playing in the hand, as it were, so camera's just over my shoulder, and we're playing a bit of Genshin Impact, which is an absolutely amazing game, really, absolutely astonishing. I've got the Fold 3. I'm about to get the Fold 5 in a couple of weeks, and this game on the Fold 3 is truly something to behold. I mean, it's a great game, and I mean, it's just astonishing. This was the first time I played it in quite a while, and I think even on this big tablet screen it's going to be fine to play. I will, obviously the proof will be in the pudding, where when I actually sort of go into like a battle, we'll see how long it is. But for the exploration and questing parts of things, I think it's excellent. And what a game this is. And I'm glad to see there's so much content now, because I started playing it when it first came out, and played it for quite a while. But there's always something new around the corner, and I sort of dropped off playing it. But yeah, now that I've got this one, it's tempted me to go back and take another look at this absolutely beautiful game, which it really, really is. Now I thought we'd play something a bit more cutting edge, race game wise, and this is Asphalt IX. This is another good series, and I mean the visuals on it are just astonishing. Absolutely astonishing. And you can choose how to play. I could have played this with the Bluetooth controller, but I wanted to play a few games just with the tablet itself. So you can play with the controller, you can play touching left and right on the screen, which is what I'm doing now, and you can also play by tilting the actual device. But this tablet, being the size it is, doesn't lend itself well to that sort of play. So I've gone for the sort of the touch on the screen, and just look at it, it's astonishing, absolutely amazing. It's so exhilarating. This is really, really something. And don't forget, this is a free game. You can actually download this one for free. What a test of your S9 Ultra. This is the game to show out and say, have a little blast of this, because this is really something. Now, the last one we're going to look at is Fruit Ninja. Now, obviously the tablet comes with the S Pen, which is beautiful. It's a lovely, really responsive bit of kit. And I thought, what better game to test the S Pen on than Fruit Ninja? And I mean, this game's been about for years, but just look at the fun. You can just play it with the pen, and it is just brilliant like that. Absolutely fantastic. What a clever use, and I'm sure there's other games out there which will use the S Pen, so I'm going to keep on experimenting with this and see if I can find any more novel uses to it in the sort of the gaming world, because I think this is really something. And yeah, there's just something about this tablet that is taking it to another level. I think looking at some of the stuff we've seen today, I think you'll agree. Amazingly, I managed to get my high score. It does get quite tricky very quickly. Yeah, an excellent game. Excellent stuff. What can you say? An absolutely amazing tablet. Certainly the best on the market at the moment, and probably a laptop replacement as well. Just so good for retro games and the modern games, as we've just seen. And I've only scratched the surface. There's so many new games to explore. One other thing I definitely wanted to bring to your attention is the comic book reader. Now I'm reading Conan at the moment. And just look at this. Let me put it lengthways. There we are. So I've had to back out a little bit. Just look at how glorious the comic books look on this. Absolutely amazing. They really, really are. Superb. This is a classic Conan. And there's loads of cool apps you can get for reading comics. You can get the Comixology and the Marvel app. There's loads. Get good ones off Amazon Prime as well. If you've got a Kindle app, they've got loads of graphic novels. Just beautiful. So just wanted to show you that. Not really gaming, but just a great cool part of owning this massive tablet. I mean, these comics just look fantastic. They really do. So there you go. So I hope you've enjoyed looking through this Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra. I mean, it really is the most amazing tablet I've ever had, and I just absolutely love it to death. It is a beast. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. It's absolutely an enormous thing, but it's just so good, and I'm going to have a lot of fun with this one, that is for certain. Thanks very much for watching today. Do check the channel if you're interested in more sort of retro gaming videos. I've got loads of those on the channel, and I shall look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.